My name is Abdirahim Hassan. We are based in Hackney and Newham. We run 7 hubs, as Francesca said in the introduction. A lot of this work that we do, there's 18 of us now in the team and 17 projects, is really rooted in lived experience. We are all lived experience of homelessness, of rough sleeping, of adverse childhood experience, and other challenges too. We're also activists. Everyone in the team has led a campaign or disrupted a local structure or disrupted certain spaces. And I'm really proud that amongst the 7 hubs, we're building now in each space the aunties who run the 2 women's co-ops, the young people who are mostly from Bangladesh, Pakistan and Somaliland. They're basically registering their own organizations in each of those hubs so that we can work like a capacity building organization and transfer some of that funding. And we started really small and very humble means, with £5,000 as our first grant in Hackney at a crisis cafe, and that's now grown in 6 years to just under £1 million. And I'm not proud of that in many ways, because we've achieved that because of the issues that exist, the unmet needs, the systemic racism, the issues of Islamophobia and other challenges that certainly the community that I serve face. So I really wanted to come here firstly with a hopeful message. I believe in hope. I'm a practicing Muslim. I believe hope as a discipline is critical, but I also see that the sector is really struggling at the moment. There's a lot of challenges in the sector, as we all know. Many organizations that we've paired up with in the past are now closed, particularly brown and black-led organizations. And so I think we're at this place where we have to be more political. And obviously the governance and the structures that we have do not allow us in many ways, but we speak very passionately. For example, what's happening in Palestine at the moment, as an example, we've led on 22 local direct action and campaigns for Palestine in Tower Hamlets and Hackney. We have one actually tomorrow. We also carry out what we call systemic litigation. We're currently taking Tower Hamlets Council, 115 black women, to the High Court for systemic housing allocation and allegations of corruption. We are also supporting both Bengali, Pakistani and Somali boys to take the local police to the High Court too for stop and search. We challenge the local mayor a lot. In Hackney, certainly the last mayor, who I won't speak on in this moment, but the current mayor for Tower Hamlets too. And what I always struggle with is, as activists, is what we do collectively to really speak truth to power at the moment, and that they don't divide and conquer and take one group in the corner and give them 10,000 and then make that group a problem. And I think that's what I've witnessed certainly in the 20 years of doing this work. But we also focus very heavily on research in our practice. We just published a research paper called Medical Racism in Tower Hamlets, where we're now directly working with the ICB in Tower Hamlets and in Hackney. We've just been commissioned to run 4 different projects, particularly around adultification, pain thresholds, black maternity, that black women are dying 4 times more than any other group at the moment in the UK. And then outside of that, I fundamentally believe that my job is to serve. My name is Abdirahim, which means servant of God, and my job is to, amongst the 18 people in the team, is to transfer the funding that we're working with. And the funders now, we work with some amazing funders. I think Lottery is in this room, I saw earlier, and other colleagues and other funders like Esme, Fairburn, Lankley, and a few other groups. And I think it's really important that people kind of like buy into your practice and what you're trying to build. And we speak a lot in our work about a model called just transition. And one of the key themes in all the policies we're trying to influence, I was in a policy meeting earlier this morning at the GLA, is around making sure that every policy we design is soulful. And the question is, what does soulful look like? And I think soulful has to start with love. And so we build all of our practice and work with love. And we passionately believe that building with love must also mean you create good trouble. And that means sometimes you make enemies in some quarters. And I think that's fine. I think it's fine to make enemies if it's for the wider cause, if it's about good and positive disruption, and if it means that your organization can grow. And I want to just honor my father, who passed 12 years ago, but he was an amazing community organizer in Tower Hamlets. He would organize seafarers, uncles from Bangladesh and Pakistan and Somaliland. In literally an hour, there would be 100 plus. And there was no WhatsApp, there was no phones at that period. They were able to organize, they were able to bring healing and advocacy in their work. And I think that we have to go back to our indigenous practice, but also honoring our elders, because what they achieved is unbelievable. If we look back at how they arrived, particularly in this country, if their Windrush, before the Windrush, etc. And so all of our work really is centered on that indigenous practice, honoring elders, honoring my faith, Islam, and the team, honouring the community that we serve, creating lots of good noise and lots of good trouble, but also using the systems that are used against us in a way that is much more strategic, much more political, much more campaign-led. And that's the message I really wanted to give and pass on, inshallah. Not that I know everything, it's just to say I think it's really important that we kind of like challenge the system and where the system is at the moment because of the crisis that we see. And thanks again for the invitation today, I appreciate it.